Experiment is the only way to go. Call them today, 404-259-1343, or you can email them at support@the.experiment.com for a free consultation. Don't waste your money buying tech stuff and tech software that you don't understand and don't know how to use. Contact the Experiment, the professionals in fixing all your stuff, man. So before you buy that cell phone, before you get that computer, contact the Experiment. It's the only way to go. I'm telling you, that's how we rolling over here.
You're looking for a home? You're looking for land? Look no further. Elite Realty Dominica got you covered. Whether it's to buy a home or build a home or just an investment property, contact Nicole London at 888-860-2366. That's 888-860-2366. Or you can log on to DominicaEliteRealty.com for all your inquiries and questions. Elite Realty Dominica, where exquisite living is defined by nature.
Lawrence Prescott Photography. I'm smiling, I'm laughing because, God, I know what I'm talking about. Lawrence Prescott Photography. That's the only person you need to call when you're ready to take your pictures. You want those pictures to come out right. You want those pictures to last forever. You want your best picture taken? Lawrence Prescott Photography. He does private events, in studio also, and outdoor photography if you need. Photography is what Lawrence Prescott does, and he's really good at it. Trust me. And also, when you want to get that video done, any type of videography production, he got you. He does short films, movies, any type of videos as well. Lawrence Prescott got you at anything that you really need. So make sure you give him a call. His phone number, and I'm going to say it slow for you, it's 404-218-1234. Did you get that? 404-218-1234. Lawrence Prescott Photography. Yo, my brethren, big up. It's all about Caribbean International Shipping. That's right. Do you need more information on shipping your items to the U.S. Southeast region or to the Caribbean? Have you ever heard of Caribbean International Shipping? You shop, they pack, and ship. They also offer residential pickup services. Support our business, like, share, and call. For your barrel shippings, let us know. The number to call is 470-718-9675 on WhatsApp or 770-323-1111. Caribbean International Shipping, the only way to send your stuff to the islands.
Give it to me, do it to me, give it to me. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. The way you make me.
Do you like music like this? That's right, I'm asking you. Do you like music like this? Then why have you not been to Sophisticated Saturday as yet? That's right, each and every third Saturday of the month, we call it Sophisticated Saturdays. Where we keep it at? Caribbeanlifetv Studios. 6254 Memorial Drive is the only place to be each and every third Saturday of the month. So if you want to celebrate your birthday, if you just want to come hang out and have some fun with grown people having big fun, Sophisticated Saturdays is the only place to be. It's brought to you by yours truly, DJ Reds, and my boy, Mr. B. Sophisticated Saturdays, every third Saturday of the month, 6254 Memorial Drive is where the grown people go and have good, clean fun. Every third Saturday of the month, man. The way you make me feel, I'm just going to have fun. I'll see you there. Sophisticated Saturdays. I got you.
You're looking for a home? You're looking for land? Look no further. Elite Realty Dominica got you covered. Whether it's to buy a home or build a home or just an investment property, contact Nicole London at 888-860-2366. That's 888-860-2366. Or you can log on to DominicaEliteRealty.com for all your inquiries and questions. Elite Realty Dominica, where exquisite living is defined by nature.
That's just how we roll.
Let me tell you who I'm rolling with. I am rolling with the Experiment. I don't know if you ever heard of them before, but the Experiment is here to help you with all your cell phone and computer needs. The Experiment is here for all your tech, all your software problems, whether it's the storage full, your laptop on boot, or you're just tired of your current setup, or you're just looking for tech support. The Experiment is the only way to go. Call them today, 404-259-1343, or you can email them at support@the.experiment.com for a free consultation. Don't waste your money buying tech stuff and tech software that you don't understand and don't know how to use. Contact the Experiment, the professionals in fixing all your stuff, man. So before you buy that cell phone, before you get that computer, contact the Experiment. It's the only way to go. I'm telling you, that's how we rolling over here.
Tonight.
Lawrence Prescott Photography. I'm smiling, I'm laughing because, God, I know what I'm talking about. Lawrence Prescott Photography. That's the only person you need to call when you're ready to take your pictures. You want those pictures to come out right. You want those pictures to last forever. You want your best picture taken? Lawrence Prescott Photography. He does private events, in studio also, and outdoor photography if you need. Photography is what Lawrence Prescott does, and he's really good at it. Trust me. And also, when you want to get that video done, any type of videography production, he got you. He does short films, movies, any type of videos as well. Lawrence Prescott got you at anything that you really need. So make sure you give him a call. His phone number, and I'm going to say it slow for you, it's 404-218-1234. Did you get that? 404-218-1234. Lawrence Prescott Photography. Yo, my brethren, big up.
Greetings, family. Welcome to the Alkebulan radio show. Yes, I like the extra drum beat. We are here in the studio today with our special segment called The King's Corner, and we have a special guest here with us today. We have the God, the King, Brother Source, healer extraordinaire and founder of Main Source Energy Services.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, and as we always do when we start our show, and as we encourage us to do each and every day, every moment that we can, we first give thanks and praises to the Almighty Creator. So we give thanks, Almighty Creator, for this day. We give thanks for miracles seen and known, and those that we don't even know that we're receiving. We give thanks for the favor, for the protection, for the guidance. We give thanks for the God power that exists within us. We give thanks for the divinity that we are connected to in all ways and always. We give thanks for our ancestors who came before us to pave the way, to make our way easier. And with that, we ask that you continue to go before us in all that we do, that those who are listening over the airwaves, that they be revitalized and rejuvenated so that they may continue to shine their light brightly in the world and to stand on the side of good, because we know that good conquers evil, and we have a responsibility to shine our light brightly into the world. We ask for our angels, our ancestors, our light workers and guides to continue to walk with us and be round about us. And we ask for all those who stand on the side of righteousness to rise up and stand together in unity. And we know that these things are already done. We claim them, and we don't walk by sight. We walk by faith, and we say Amen, Ashe, Aho, Namaste, Namaskar. Welcome, family. We are here today in the studio. Yes, it's been 2 weeks since I've been here. Thank you for showing up for me today. I've had some family things going on and business things going on, but we are happy to be here representing Caribbeanlifetv and Caribbean Life Radio. We know that affirmations are one of our tools that we use for wellness and health, and I just want to remind you all the power of the tongue. There's life and death in the tongue, and so we speak life over ourselves. And today the affirmations that come to mind is that I am the truth. I am powerful. I am a light. I am a bright light in this world. I live in a friendly and loving universe. Everything is working for my highest good. Everything is happening for me and not to me. I have the power to manifest healing and prosperity in my life. And with that, I encourage you to look in the mirror and speak over yourself, and also to be able to say a kind word, not only to yourself, but to others. So, as I said, we have a special guest. Today's platform is the King's Corner, and we do know that it's Women's History Month, and within the word woman is man. There is no man without woman, there is no woman without man. We stand in unity, and we like to acknowledge our men as being on the front line and dispelling the negative stereotypes that go out on the airwaves, whether it's TV, radio, social media. We just want to remind you all that our men are the most powerful beings on the planet, just as our women are, that we have melanated power, and that we have always been in the front line as the first in every area of creation, the original man and woman. And so today is all about you all being able to see a brother, a king in the spotlight. And scripture says that ye are gods. And oftentimes we don't always remember that God is not something that just exists outside of us. God is within, and God is everywhere. God is in all things. And so I acknowledge this brother and his kingly character and his godliness, because this brother right here has a treat for us today. Our topic is man, know thyself. Man, know thyself. How can we heal ourselves from disease and cancer? And I use those two as examples, but we have the power to heal and transform every area in our life, every cell in our body. First, it starts with knowledge. You just cannot believe it. You must know. So here we are. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you for the invite. I appreciate it.
Yes,
It.
It's an honor to have you.
It's an honor to be here. Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
So my brother, please, I feel like the best way is for you to share like who you are. What do you feel like your purpose is for being here today, and explaining to us a little bit about your journey and how you have chosen the path that you're on now, and how you support and service other people.
Absolutely. So, well, I'm here today, just to present other options, other insight, other perspectives into things I've experienced. Okay, just to clarify, we're not doctors. We're not. I don't even like to even call myself a healer, because we all have the power inside of us. It more or less chose me. I didn't choose it. So this path chose me. I got into this years ago when I got sick with cancer. So just to break down a little something, it was leukemia. I wasn't taking care of my body at all. My whole goal was was societal goals. It was more or less just I did some time, and I got out and I just wanted to do the right thing. That was my whole goal. But in the path of doing that, I still took a toll on my body. So no matter what my societal goals were, it still took a toll on my body, because the body still has no matter what you're trying to do, society tells you trying to do, you still have to take care of yourself energetically, so make a long story short, I came down with it. I broke out real bad, make it real short. And I knew things were going on in my body. I mean, we all know things are going on with our body before a doctor tells you it is. We just ignore it and mask it. And
That's a good point.
Exactly. We know. Whenever they say stage this, stage that, it was already something already. It was just a different word. All right. So if it was a minor headache, it starts off as a minor headache, and then as it goes more chronic, because you're not correcting it, you're masking it, then it goes to another word, and then it goes to another word. So, I knew things were going on with my body, but when I did go to the doctor, I had broke out real bad, and I couldn't even walk, and so much pain in the bones, and I was doing all kind of things, doing all kind of drugs, getting inside of my body, just to keep me going, you know, and I had 2 businesses, and my body literally shut down. When I went to the doctor, she told me that I had stage 4 leukemia, and literally I have 5 months to live.
Wow.
Literally. He says it's and then I didn't have insurance, which is one of the best things that ever happened to me, because it was either lay down, give up, or figure it out. There is no option of going to the hospital. They didn't want to even deal with me at that point because I didn't have that. And that was the best blessing for my journey, is not having that, because I wasn't laying down. Even though I didn't know how to do it, it left me with no choice to figure out how to do it. And my dad's a doctor, so of course he went crazy, panicking. He's like, "Oh, you should go get chemotherapy. I'll pay for it." And I cut him all the way off. I didn't want to hear none of the doctor advice, you know.
Okay.
So I cut him off because it wasn't nothing but fear coming out of him. And ultimately, I started eating the native plants. So that's what led me to it. That's what led me to everything. I was in my backyard, and I was doing first I started off with all the organic stuff.
Okay.
But I kept getting sicker. And I'm like, why am I still getting sick? I'm still throwing up clots of blood, you know, and I'm like, what's going on? You know, like I'm reading, researching, taking garlic in the morning, and first thing before I pee, all these other remedies and all this other stuff, and none of it's working. I'm steady feeling worse and worse and worse. So I was out in my yard, and I had a house in Snellville, and I'm like, and I'm looking around, and something's leading me to this little berry on the ground. It's called an Indian mock berry. It's a little berry. That's what the original strawberries come from.
M-O-C-K,
mock berry.
Okay.
Then a lot of the Georgia yards where it doesn't get a lot of sunlight. You know, it's a
Okay,
little
I don't
berry.
get a lot of
It's a
sunlight
little
in my
berry
yard.
in a
Okay.
lot of the yards, and it's a little berry, and that's what the hybrid strawberry out of the store comes from. You know, it's one of the plants, and it doesn't have flavor or anything, but something kept telling me to eat it. And I was like, "Oh, you're gonna die. You don't know." I'm not at the point. I'm not at the point right now where I know the research. So I'm like, "Oh, you man, it could be poisonous." But then I thought of myself. I said, "You've been poisoning yourself already with all them drugs and everything. What's that gonna hurt?"
And they're already telling you.
And they're already telling you it's over
months.
with. So what does that hurt? So I still was scared to eat it. So I took it and boiled it. And my son was looking at me like, "Dad, you finna eat that? You done lost your mind." You know. And I took it and I was scared to eat it. So I boiled it. And I boiled it, and I was having an episode, and just drinking the water. And we're not even talking about spring water and the water, you know, that I drink now. We talking about water out of the sink. I boiled it in there, and literally I drank the water, and it stopped me from throwing up. And I knew something was going on then. And I was like, okay, it stopped my episode. Now I'm going in getting all these plants I can't even word or know how to describe or even know how to spell out the store. None of them working. And I go get this little berry out of my yard, and it stopped my episode. And so I became fatuous. So then I went back, ate some stuff, pain came back again. Then I ate this thing again. So I did the period of going back and forth. And then finally, I was like, okay, it's something with this stuff in the yard and these native plants, and indigenous plants. Let me say indigenous plants. And so I started. And it led me to a Bible verse. And I wasn't big in Bible at the time, but I grew up in the church. So, and it led me to Genesis. And I read 3 or 4 times in the first beginning of it. It said it 3 times, but I am big on numbers. And it said 3 times. It said, only these plants, and the plants must come with seed and season.
Yes,
and only I see
seed.
that they're good. And I'm like, well, why is he specifically highlighting specific plants? I thought everything green is good for you. And then he said it again. So when it got to the 3rd time, I went outside and I looked around. And I saw all the stuff I bought from the nursery and I planted in the ground. And I looked around and I saw all the other things. And then it hit me like a bomb. It said, because I looked up under the plants that I planted in the nursery, and none of them had baby plants under them. So no seed in season. So I was like, whoa, okay. Whoa, so it's a difference. These plants are sterile. These are hybrids. So the plants that I'm eating out the store aren't the original plants either. They aren't the mother plants either. It's the stuff we trying to kill, and the stuff we call weeds, and the stuff we trying to throw away, and all the stuff. Exactly. These are the things that you need. These are the mother plants. And all the other stuff is just societal stuff. Of keep your neighborhood looking like this, kill it, and then you still can't kill it because it still keep coming back. So I'm like, okay, I want the stuff that keeps coming back. You can't kill because you spray a little something on your vegetable, it's going to next season. You spray this, it's right back. So it hit me like a bomb. I say these are the ones they talking about in Genesis about the mother plants that it must come with seed and season. His season, not your season when you put it in the ground.
Right.
That's a hybrid. No, when he decides for it to get, not when man tells you, hey, this is good or this is bad. No, what comes with where this is, before you built that house, what was here? Before you built this, what was here? And when I started, and at that point, I started going crazy on I started studying all the plants just in my yard at the time.
Okay.
The pines, the this, the that. And I started eating them. And that's when it changed. Everything started to change. And then I started getting into the so-called poisonous plants and, the so-called, and then I even learned with those, it's a time and a place for everything. It's night plants, day plants. It's no such thing as, certain things aren't meant to be eaten during the daytime. Say for instance, poison ivy is not meant to be dealt with during the daytime, but at nighttime it's harmless because, it only comes out at night, the sun only brings it out, so in the nighttime you can use it and it's medicinal, but yeah, so that's how I got on this journey. That's how I started learning the difference between, and everybody thought I had lost my mind because I went from eating chicken, eating all this other stuff to now they're like, oh man, he eating off the trees, he done lost his mind, but they also see the change in my body. They also see the change in my skin. They also see the change in everything, and that's what started me on my journey, and then I went on the journey. I left, shut down my businesses, left, and I started working on people in Biloxi, Mississippi, the homeless people, because nobody else would believe me. Here, they knew me. They knew me before. They knew the old me. They like, how he figured it out? And I went to Biloxi, Mississippi, and those were the people that let me give them things because I was trying to share with other people, and they looking at me like, I know the old you. How you figured it out? Exactly. So I had to go where nobody was, and it wasn't a plan for that. It just happened like that. Yes. And that's what led me down this journey. And then later on came the energy, and the more I lost the programming of what something should be, the more and more and more it taught me, and then the more and more the feelings came, the energy came, the electricity, knowing what you are, and and then the emotional had to, of course, that was one of the main things I had to lose is the emotional. Mm-hmm. The emotional is major. The emotional is the crusher. It's 80% of the things you're dealing with is dealing with that emotional fire. You have to change the way you view yourself.
Yes.
If you don't, you literally cooking yourself. Literally.
What do you mean when you say cooking yourself?
Cooking means you are making yourself sick because all your organs have dominant emotions. I don't want to get too deep into it. That's almost like a lecture, but all your organs have dominant emotions, and it's all about balance. It's no such thing as having being able to get rid of everything. Emotions are like vegetables. Since society always placed the negative stuff in you, the fear, the this, you don't have to look for that. It's everywhere. But literally, you have to charge up your individual emotions. You have to know how to contact your emotions, and it's very easy because it's already innate inside of us. It's just we're looking outside. We're listening to outside. We're listening to everything, all these different advices and different things. Even me. I look at my kids now, all the advice I gave them growing up, they're looking at me like, Daddy, you done lost your mind. You didn't tell us that growing up, but that's my karma, And when they're ready, I'll be here because I'm going to continue doing this, and, that's just what it is, but we keep it moving. But yeah, so the emotional detox is extremely important. Mm-hmm. All your traumas, now you look at as if they're now your benefits because they are. The thing that was eating me alive, the hate, the things from my childhood, abuse, getting put in dog cages and all the crazy abuse, I look at that now like, whoa, because that's what ultimately allowed me not to believe anybody because I couldn't even believe my mom and my parent. So when it was time for me to detox, it was easy for me to say, hey, Pop, I don't want to hear none of the medical advice. Hey, even scared. You have to do it scared. You have to be okay with doing get out of your comfort zone. You get out of your comfort zone, you start healing. Whatever's comfortable, it's a false illusion anyways, because we love it. You know, we love that house when we think it's protecting us. I'm in my house, it's protecting me. But we hate when it imprisons us. So that cocoon's a double-edged sword. When you want to grow, it imprisons you too. So, you know, it's best to say, hey, I know what this brings me. It's bringing me in a constant loop. Okay, let me be okay with being vulnerable and let me try something different. Let me stop looking at myself in this situation. Let me look at myself differently. You know, let me do some different things that's weird. They think it's weird. Usually when you do the weird stuff, usually the magical stuff start happening. And that's you know, that's just a short, you know, briefing of where it led me over the years. And then it just turned into a business and a passion, you know, and I had to deal with a lot of things inside. I had to change myself, had to change that street mentality, you know, had to learn how to smile, you know, had to change all this prison mentality, you know, and that was honestly the hardest part of my healing, was getting it out there, because nobody would believe me. I can't walk up with this stone face and say I got something to heal you. You know, I had to change that aspect of me that had become me, who I had identified myself with. I had to re-identify myself with literally becoming stupid within myself. And what I mean by stupid within yourself is what you think you know you don't know, and being okay with it. And that means ultimately I had to distance myself from everything and everybody who thought they knew something. But ultimately I'm watching it from the outside suffer too. So that kept me going, and then it led me to different things to teach people how to incorporate that into life.
Wow.
But at the same time, you know, heal. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know. So that's more or less where it led me, and
That's so powerful. Noni is listening in, so I'm just giving you a shout out. Thank you for listening, Noni the Juice.
peace, Noni.
And I have a few questions and comments to say. One of the things you said was, you know, people thought that you lost your mind, and you felt like you did need to lose your mind.
Oh yeah.
And so there was this, one of my teachers from my younger years, they call him the Black Buddha.
Okay.
His name is Ananda. And one of his adages was, in order to come to your senses, you must lose your mind. You must lose your mind to come to your senses. And so for me, it's like, you know, the divine intelligence that exists within us is what you're talking about. You're talking about the fact that you tapped into something. And what is that something? It's that divine intelligence. It's that high intelligence. It's that third eye. We just don't have our two physical eyes. We have a third eye, a mind's eye, that works even when we're, you know, in rest mode. That's why we dream. And then some people, you know, they have visions, they see. And so I was thinking about how in our original cultural experience, is one of the things that I think is important is to be culture keepers. So for me, what you're doing is being a keeper of the culture, because there was a time where we went to Mother Earth, we went into the bush, we went out in the woods, and we found the plant medicine for our healing. And It's been proven that all of the pharmaceutical drugs that are out here are plant-based. There is not one pharmaceutical drug that they're prescribing that's not plant-based. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't acknowledge, even though there is like this villain mentality around people who do street drugs, that there are a lot of pharmaceutical drugs that are the actual match to what some of these street drugs are. So like with my children, you know, I taught them like these pharmaceuticals, and you know, it's controversial to say, they're legal drug dealers. You know, that they call it the, you know, the drugstore. We're going to the drugstore growing up. You know, you went to the drugstore to get your prescription drugs. I mean, the words are still there. And so I'm not condoning, you know, drugs in any way, whether it's street drugs or really the pharmaceutical ones either, because the side effects, most of the times, I think you may have mentioned that, or someone recently was saying, it's not even just a side effect. They try to minimize it by saying it's a side effect, but it's actually having an effect on you. And I've seen commercials in the past. I don't really vibe with TV like that, where I want to see commercials now, but I remember seeing commercials where at the end of this commercial that's making you feel so good, like, they're saving you. The next thing you know, they're telling you in this really fast voice, oh, yeah, this can cause your kidney to shut down and your liver to duplicate, and you may have an arm fall off. And I'm like, well, how in the world can people even advertise this stuff? Absolutely. And so to me, a lot of it is retraining ourselves, which is like letting go of a lot of the things that we've been taught, because we've been taught to be in a society that profits off of sickness and death. And so I'm very much intrigued by you coming into your own and trusting the spirit, that God body within you, and even what type of herbs, like you talked about the pine. So I'm thinking about pine cones, making some kind of pine tea. Like,
absolutely.
Will you just elaborate a little bit on the relationship that you created with the earth? Because to me, that's a part of our relationship with the Creator.
Absolutely.
To have that relationship with creation, and how I feel best when I'm in true communion with the Creator. I'm out in nature. I'm not
absolutely.
in my house.
Absolutely. So that's a good point. Speak on the pharmaceutical industry. I mean, that's the third leading cause of death. So I mean, if you're a numbers person, you got to look at it like you're better off doing it on your own. It's medical practice. They're practicing. I can practice on myself.
Yes.
You know. Now, speaking on the herbs, like the pines, every piece of the pine can be used. Every piece. I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, I'll have a pine pollen allergy." Right now, as we speak, God's gift to earth is golden and it's spreading everywhere.
Pollen.
Pine pollen is God's gift to it. See with the body, it's a difference with the body. All right, so I've been collecting all week. With the body, oh yeah, you just go cut them and eat them. You can eat a scrap of the tree. It has like 90 benefits. But the pollen, one thing about the pollen, all right, a lot of people say, well, I have a pine pollen allergy. No, you were told that. And I'm going to tell you what the pine pollen, whenever you eat something, just to explain how the body works, whenever you eat something, it has a different effect than when you inhale it or you smoke it. It's just like if you do a drug or you do anything. If I eat a piece of crack, my body wants to throw it up. If you smoke a piece of cocaine, crack or something, then your body has a different effect on your body. Same thing if you eat anything and you smoke it, it will have different effects. So if you eat a piece of pine pollen, you eat a piece of pine pollen, after about a week, you might have the sniffles, but after about a week, you'll get those adaptogens and those androgens in you, and all of a sudden, you'll get the cures to that whole tree, and it'll never affect you ever again. You know. So, but if you already fear something, then you're never gonna do it. You know, that's the catch. If you think you know something, you're never gonna. And if you have one effect, my nose running, you just let these people give you something and put your femur on top of your head, and you bragging about it. You can't even walk, and just because you get a little sniffle, let your body get used to getting back to balance. That's what a lot of these things they give us do. It takes us away from nature. So now the thing that we're naturally made of, we become
almost like hybrids.
Exactly. The thing. Whenever you keep getting the unnatural things put inside of you, that makes the natural things affect you. So now you literally have to reorchestrate your body back and say, no, this is what I'm made of. And you have to let it go through that process. So that's the catch. The things that are usually natural, when you take something unnatural, it makes the natural stuff affect you.
Like your body is
you have to get it exactly. You have to get it back used to. That's the catch to everything. So and one of the most important things are the type of plants. All right. So you have in the world, I give you have the natural, you have the unnatural, and you have the super unnatural. So you have natural, unnatural,
and supernatural.
All right. Natural is literally what grows without you dealing with it. It's gonna go, it's gonna grow. It don't need no help. You don't have to sprinkle nothing. You don't have to put no compost. You don't have to do nothing. That's natural. It's supposed to be here. It's gonna be here. It naturally spreads. Then you have the unnatural. You have the things that we put in the ground that we will raise up on. Your vegetables, your lettuce. That's not wild lettuce. These are hybrids. They're better than other things, but let's not get it twisted. They're hybrids. All right. You can't have a crazy sick illness and it might work sometimes, but it's not going to work for all the things. You got to go pure back to nature. And the problem I'm seeing with a lot of things is, say for instance, sea moss. All right, everybody's big on sea moss, but a lot of people don't know it's sea moss farms. You'll never see that type of sea moss in the ocean naturally. It has fake iodine on it. It has all these other things that they put inside of these brine tanks. And it's come commercialized. So everybody like, I'm on my sea moss, I'm on sea moss. But why are you sick? If you was to go get those natural bromides and natural things out of the ocean and let that small piece of sea moss, because the sea moss in the ocean is very small, but it's 1,000 times powerful than these mutant sea mosses that everybody's eating.
Mutant
sea mosses. So, and then you wonder why you're sick still. You're like, well, I'm eating my sea moss. Then you start to give up. Well, I thought I'm doing this. I thought I'm doing that. Well, you're not eating the mother plant. Because a lot of healers are just ordering online, modern healers. We have to get back to the old age healers. You have to go get your herbs.
Foraging.
You have to go get your herbs. That's the only way you're gonna make sure you get the right one. It's about the right one. It's not about the buzzwords or the names. You have to get the right one in order to get these effects.
So unless
you're looking at everything from a scientific standpoint now, but you have to know then what's the scientific word for the original plant, and you have to search through. Okay, it's 7 genres of this word sea moss. Okay, out of these 7, which one God made? Because 5 of them they created.
I love that question.
And most likely the one online is the one. Not more. It's the one that's deep. It is commercial. It is commercial. They're never gonna give you the one that God made. Because it has powerful. A completely different effect.
So we have Marlene and Taisha joining with Noni online, and I want to thank you, Noni, for just representing. We also have Omi Dio. Omi's in the studio. I met Brother Source through Omi, so I want to give you a shout out, Queen Goddess. Thank you. And I do want to acknowledge Taisha said something really powerful. She said, I believe what you are saying. I believe that I was sick with breast cancer, but I believe the side effects and the drugs were poison and made me sick for another year. And we need information like this in the community. Thank you for being courageous to share your story, sister. And then Marlene, she says, thank you for sharing your experience. And so for people who, can be dealing with cancer, like, I'm going to be courageous like Taisha. I had some blood work done, and they're like, oh, it could be nothing or it could be cancer. I'm like, what the heck is going on with Western medicine? How are they going to say it could be nothing, but then it could be cancer?
Yeah. Not even a common cold.
I'm like, what? And so I do know that, cancer can't live in an alkaline environment. And so, being alkaline is very important. True. But I also want to touch on what you said about emotion, that the body, there's a book called The Body Keeps the Score, and it talks about how every single emotion that we've experienced since we were children, whatever traumas you have, they don't go anywhere. It's like stuck in your cells, and you have to really do the work, the inner work, the shadow work, whatever you want to call it, whether it's, journaling, therapy, group sessions, to really uncover the things that we mask. And I stand on the fact that this dis-ease comes from the emotional things that we experience. You said that the other day, like the anger, the unforgiveness, the bitterness, the regret, the guilt, anxiety, and stress. And so I began to, pay attention to my body. Maybe it's been like over the last year that every time that I feel like I get really angry, it makes me feel physically sick. Like I've been angry to the point, yes, I love smiling. I like being kind, but I have my moments. And I realized, that I knew that I could make myself sick from being angry. and, making sure that I practice forgiveness. And then I'm like, there's some things that I thought that I forgave and I did not forgive. And so, like, really going to do that emotional work, because every disease is another book called You Can Heal Your Life, Louise Hay. And she has these affirmations in the thought process that helps to create the sickness or the disease. Exactly. And so looking at ourselves and taking a holistic approach, it's not about isolating the body. It's a mind, body, soul experience. So it's like your mind being right, your soul being right. Your soul could be sick. Like I've heard people say, oh, they died from a broken heart.
True,
that stuff
true.
is real.
No, true. Whenever somebody have a heart attack, I'm going to cut you off. Whenever somebody have a heart attack, they never grab the physical heart on the left side. They grab the heart chakra. They grab the middle of the chest.
That's
the
true.
Heart chakra broke. The physical heart is on the left, up under the left chest or left breast. They grab the middle of the heart. The heart chakra broke. So yes, you're dealing with the spiritual side of things whenever you have something, whenever something like that happens. Yes.
Yeah, so I just think that it's really, a powerful opportunity for us to look at the way we look at things. There's this song that I like. It says, when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at will change. The things that we're saying, are weeds. Like, I know dandelion cleans the blood. And then you talked about things are poison versus, what did you so-called poison? And it made me think about ackee. The national fruit of Jamaica. And one of my sisters who lives in Ghana sometimes and here, she talks about how in Africa a lot of times, they just step on it and they think that, it's poison. And yes, you have to eat it at a certain time. And some people, we don't really eat from everybody anyway. But, you got to be careful of how you prepare it, how you cook it, because ackee can be, considered to be poison at a certain time.
I ate it at the wrong time one time.
Really? And it made you sick, right?
Well, I felt a little tingling in my, but I have compounds, so I instantly went to neutralize it with some carbon.
Okay.
But if I wouldn't
charcoal?
have had, with some carbon, I create carbon,
Ooh,
and and instantly I went
True
to it
scientist.
because I knew it was I knew something was going on because I ate it. Like I've eaten plenty of things at the wrong time, and it wasn't mature yet, But yeah. So I can personally, tell you, with the ackee, I didn't let it get to where it might have went to because it instantly flushed out of me. But speaking on the emotional thing that you're speaking on, just to speak on something briefly, what I've experienced helping people out with, say for instance, with the sister with the breast cancer, your emotion is like the fire of it. It's at the base. So all your organs have dominant emotion. They have positive. It's like electricity. It has positive emotions, negative emotions. You want both, but literally you have to charge up your organs. Literally, that means, say, for instance, if you're having heart problems, you have anger in you, have other things in you, it's certain sounds that you put. First, you touch your heart, you say certain sounds, and then you charge it up with the polar opposite emotion, which is like the heart holds love, joy, happiness. It also holds anger, frustration, hastiness. The lungs hold
anger, frustration,
and hastiness.
Okay, being hasty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
rushy.
Exactly.
Lord,
Impatient. Same thing with the lungs. The lungs hold courage, righteousness, sincerity, but it also holds grief, sorrow. That's why a lot of people who get, after funerals or always sad, they always end up having lung problems, or if you're sad about something. So what I'm saying is you have to go in and charge it with the polar opposite, meaning touch the physical organ and think the polar opposite, courage, courageous, righteousness, sincerity, and then you charge it because the thoughts pull in the energy from the space. You start to feel the physical organs start to change, literally, as you move around the energy in the body. If you want to deal with the spiritual side of things, because it's multiple. You have a physical herb you can use, but you also can, even if you don't have a physical herb, you can do it mentally as well. Just like if you stay in that chronic mental state, it'll turn physical from the mental. You can also mentally unblock it as well. And I've dealt with people, I've dealt with a lot of women with with breast cancer and help them to cure themselves. I don't cure them. They cure themselves. I teach them how to cure themselves. The tumor is easy to leave. You have to change the emotional charge. And usually what I've experienced, this is how deep it is emotionally. Women who have, now, if it's a lot of resentment and bitterness for a man, it never manifests itself as breast cancer, through my experience. It always manifests itself as some kind of ovarian cyst or ovarian, and then go to ovarian. And when it's a man, meaning a father or a husband or somebody you resentful, that's a man. Whenever it's in the breast, it's always a woman they're resentful with. Always, because whenever they go in and they change it and it drops and it drops, it's always an emotion dealing with a woman that's there. And it goes as deep even to where if it's in the left breast, it's a woman that's not blood related. To if it's in this breast, it's a woman that's blood related. Like it's scarily accurate. Now I'm not to say that's what everybody, but I've dealt with a lot and it's almost identical. You know,
That's
maybe
powerful.
different as far as those aspects are the same. You know, it's always dealing with a woman, and of course the ancient emotion of the breast is the negative emotions is resentment and neediness. Resentment and neediness, feeling like you need somebody, feeling like you didn't have enough, because the breast, the positive emotion is fulfillment. And I can't think of the other one, but it's one more as well. You're supposed to feel fulfilled. You give life.
Right.
What are you needy for? That's a mental. That's a perspective. That's somebody gave you some movie, some parent, somebody told you you have to have it like that, and you stuck in this state of mind. But it's also eating up your cells, because ancestrally, that's not how it's supposed to be. That's a modern mindset. You know, and that's the problem. It's fighting with the ancestral and the modern mindset. We trying to merge ancestral, and we trying to, we say the words and we say everything, but we're not charging up our organs. You have to charge up your organs. You have to charge up these things, because when you use it too much, you don't have no more happiness to give. That's the problem, sister. Literally, the thought won't come, or it runs out more and more and more, more and more and more and more. You're like, why I can't be happy?
Wow.
You don't have that emotion anymore. You have to charge it up. You have to think that organ and think love, joy, happiness, appreciation.
Wow.
Swirl it. You have to add, and then all of a sudden everybody around you, like, first you have to give it to yourself, and then everybody else around you just benefit. It can't be like I used to be. It has to be for everybody else first, because that's how I was the oldest child. In that house, I was the oldest one, and it was more or less like like you say, it attaches to you when you get out the house. So I didn't even feel comfortable if I wasn't taking care of somebody. But I wasn't taking care of myself.
Yeah.
And that's a sin on the body as well.
That's happened to me recently.
So it
That's
benefited
like
me
pathology.
when exactly I had to let everybody get from around me, and I had to learn how to literally be happy and thankful in my own skin in order to heal properly. So
That is so powerful.
But the emotion is just that. You literally have to charge up your emotions. Charge up your organs so you have a reserve of that energy to give. We're not taught there's a reserve.
That is so powerful, because as this is a King's Corner, but I'm thinking about women, like men and women, we could be programmed, and also culturally as a people, we have this like stigma around, like we always got to work. Like everybody I know, including myself, 2-3 jobs, 2-3 businesses. We associate progress with work, and we sometimes feel guilty for being still. We sometimes feel guilty for taking care of ourselves. And like I'm a little stuffy today, but I'm glad to be here. But I felt like, dang, I took time off from work, but I'm still working. I'm still on like massive calls. I did not shut down everything. And I was upset with myself last night, because I was like, you know what, I'm really feeling like, why'd I take off from work? And then I'm sitting up here acting like I can't stop. I don't know how to stop. And I thought at one point I was doing really good with like self-care. My friends would tell you I shut it down on the weekend after the radio show, and I rest. I don't use my phone, but that Monday through Friday, it's like, wearing a cape, and I don't really like it. It didn't feel good to me yesterday, to the point where I was depleted, to the fact where I wanted to actually cry because I felt so depleted. Like, how the heck did I create a situation? And that is the key thing that I feel, not being a victim, but acknowledging that we create everything in our lives.
Absolute, 100%.
That's when we recognize that we
100%.
are co-creators with the divine. So I was like, how did I create this? How did I create? First of all, I have a joke like, when you need to stop and you won't, your body will make you stop one way or another.
It's gonna shut it down.
Yeah,
it's gonna shut it down.
It
It don't care what part of life you at. It's gonna shut it down. It don't care. It
Yes.
doesn't even care. Because it's warned you over and over again. Whether physically, mentally, emotionally, it's warned you over and over again. It usually shuts down at the worst times. I know it shut down at the worst time for me.
Yeah.
Well, let me say it was the best time, but in my societal goals, it was the worst time.
Yes.
And
Dealing with divine timing, it was the best
but it was the
time.
best time dealing with divine timing. But Speaking on that, you have to charge yourself up, and you have to give yourself time, to go inside.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's coming up for me is, like, we were talking about the sister with breast cancer. And when you have people who are willing to think outside the box and have the courage to, one of the things in the church used to say, oh, the greatest physician is God, and then knowing that God exists within us and we had a power to heal ourselves. A lot of us trust these doctors like they are God. And so it's like kind of like we contradict, as you said, our ancestral beliefs and the programming that's happening.
Absolutely, 100%.
But there are people who, they want to be more open. And I believe in blood work. I feel like, when I'm doing my thing on the side, I can always have a baseline of this is what my blood work looks like. And then I'm doing this, that, and the third. And when I'm done, I could go back. Like, what was it like for you when you said stage 4? That's like the last stage.
Yeah,
because I know people
next
who,
one was great.
right? I know people that say, "Oh yeah, the doctor will work with you," and I'm talking about like the holistic doctors, the healers. They like to work with people when they're in stage 1 and stage 2.
Absolutely.
But when they get to stage 3, they're like, we don't know. Absolutely. And then you coming in here like stage 4, S on your chest, supernova star, So what did that look like for your journey? Did you go and check in again and get another diagnosis, a second opinion after you did your thing? Can you talk about that for people who really are interested in moving forward in a different way?
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, I did go get another diagnosis. It was about a year and a half later. After I got the original diagnosis and I started on the plants, I moved away to Biloxi. I started studying the plants there in Biloxi and New Orleans area. I was in the bayou, doing the same things when I left here. And one thing I could tell you about the body, I knew when it had got out of me because all the effects were gone. It was so far in, my bones was hurting. I was throwing up like crazy. I couldn't hold anything down. So when you start seeing the effects leave, I knew even then that some positive things were going on in my body, and I started to see the change. And yes, I did go get another diagnosis. Oh yeah, you know, just like when something's going on. No matter, just because they tell you, oh, now you have it. I knew something was going on before I went. My body was acting crazy. It didn't just start then, So, yes, I did go get another diagnosis, but it just was confirmation. I already knew that, and I was only being pressured, by my father. He was like, man, you should still go get one because it'll come back. And then I wanted to know too, because I low key wanted to know if it worked. You know what I mean? Because I knew I felt good. No.
Still go get one, a diagnosis?
I say low key. I went and got a diagnosis. I took his advice.
Okay.
Because I wanted to see if I know I felt better, but I just wanted to see it on paper that it was, completely gone and know that it worked. You know what I mean? Like completely. And I always tell people, always go to a separate doctor. You never go to the same doctor you got the diagnosis from.
And not even in the same network.
No, never.
And don't
because
even
they looked at me like
what the other doctor said.
Yeah, absolutely not. And I went in there, they looked at me like, you look like you have perfect health. You know what I mean? And
How
and
long
it
was that?
It was about a year and a half. It was about a year and a half later.
18 months.
Yeah, it was 2016, and it was 2000 end of 2017. Yeah.
That's powerful.
And yeah, but I knew then though. You know, I internally knew. And yeah.
Okay, and Taisha said when I got a second opinion, instead of them encouraging me, they started telling me how expensive it would be. And she was like, I don't care about the price. This is my life. So that's interesting that they were, discouraging. That has to do with what Source was speaking about when you don't have insurance and they're like, oh, we don't even want to deal with you. And Marlene did send you shout out of lots of love as well.
Appreciate it, Marlene.
So, yeah, so for me, a few things came up. As I mentioned the word chemo, I was told, I think it was Dr. Jewel Pookrum who was talking about, because we are melanated people, a lot of times they do tests on white mice. Like, why are they doing tests on white mice? Because these white mice don't have melanin, and they don't want to see how it impacts the people with melanin. They want to see how it impacts the people without melanin. So a lot of times we're taking things that don't necessarily work for our people because they're not even testing it for our people. And I learned that, like, chemotherapy, it locks on to our melanin in our body in a different way than other nationalities who don't have the melanin. Absolutely. And it makes us sicker. And so chemo doesn't always work as well on us because it doesn't release from the melanin. And I did hear, like, when you do when you do chemotherapy, that it's good to, like, drink sea moss and stuff like that. Papaya seeds, using your food as medicine. But it's just really, really important for us to recognize that oftentimes, as you said, it's a medical practice. They're actually practicing us on, like, guinea pigs. So it's really important to think of things from a cultural context, because even our foods, eating the indigenous foods of the land, there's different theories about the fact that, yes, Africa may be, the birthing place of all civilizations, but we are Pan-African people. We are all over the planet. It's evidence of melanated people all over the world. So when I'm in the Americas, the indigenous food of this land, indigenous herbs, are also the medicine for me and my people, because my bloodline is not just from Africa. It's here, not because my ancestors were brought here. We were here before Columbus and all the rest of them. Columbus never even made it to America. He just made it to Jamaica, but we won't go into that. That's another day. The point that I'm making is our people were all over the planet long before the transatlantic slave trade happened. And so being able to have that relationship with Mother Nature, growing our own food, not trusting everything in these stores, because I know people, they live in Walmart. I mean, they buy everything out of Walmart. And there was even an article that was saying that, they had, like, I forget what it was now. I don't want to, I guess the creator doesn't want me to go there, but we are very trusting about our foods. Even at a point where I was out on a date and we were, like, counting, like, in certain neighborhoods where it's like, less of us. You can't find a liquor store. You got to go, like, 15 miles away. Absolutely. But I did the same thing with my sons, and we counted, like, 15 liquor stores. Was it, like, 12 liquor stores? Because they're in the studio in, like, a 5-minute radius. And we didn't even count the fast food restaurants because we don't even eat at them. But I want to do that because in the neighborhoods where there's not a lot of us, they don't have no fast food restaurants like we do. I mean, I think it's like 2 McDonald's walking distance from each other on the same street in our neighborhoods. And the liquor stores, it's probably like 4 on the same street. So not only are we trusting with our food in the supermarkets, but we're not paying attention to the fact that there are things that are set up conveniently to keep us sick and to kill us off early. So I just want to challenge people. We are supposed to be playing music. DJ Rez has been patiently waiting. Shout out to DJ Rez for being a rock of Gibraltar.
Shout out DJ Rez.
Always in the house, showing up positively. So I had like 3 songs that I picked. I'm trying to figure out if I should do like Who Feels It Knows It, because I feel this. And I'm like, we need to know this. I was doing like some Rita Marley and what was the other song that I had? But DJ Rez, give thanks. We're gonna take a little break. And I'm gonna get a cough drop. Would you like Okay, family. Well, we definitely, the brother said time is flying when you're cooking. And so I got the word in the studio. We only have a few more minutes to wrap up. One of the things that came up to me, you went to Biloxi, Mississippi, and it's like a prophet is never honored in their own home. Sometimes you have to, leave from your comfort zone, leave from the places and the people and the things that, help you become who you are so that you can fly and go another way. And so I would like for you to tell the listening audience what would it take for them to be able to connect with someone of your caliber that, people who want to take the leap of faith and stand strong in something different than what is being given to us.
Okay. So what's the question?
How can people follow up and connect with you? Are you accepting consultations, support? It could be someone out there with cancer, diabetes, and they're tired of the side effects or the sickness. What would they need to do to take this to the next step? What can we give them some actionable steps?
Well, okay, so what we do is we help people out multiple different ways. We do protocols. We also do, if they don't want to do a protocol, we have herbs for them. We also do one-on-one practices to help teach them as well. It just depends on the person, depends on their life. We accommodate whatever their life is. But they can reach out to us at Main Source Energy Service or mainsourceorg.com is the website.
But it's MAINE?
Yeah.
Okay, Main Source with
Source.org.
Main with the E.
Yeah, Mains. And,
mainsource.org, MAINESOURCE.org.
Yeah. And they can also call in and set up a consultation as well.
You want me to get the number?
Yeah, you can give me the number. Oh, I got it right.
Okay. Thank you. So
678.
the 678 area code, it's 416-1162, 678-416-1162. Now, we do have a international audience, so would you be willing to contact you via your website that you just gave and then perhaps communicate through WhatsApp?
Absolutely.
Okay, so even for our international audience, I know we have a lot of people that are not just on the continent of North America. This is something for all of us, not just for some of us. So we want to encourage you again. Let me read that number out again. For those who are in the States, 678-416-11, is that 62? Uh-oh, that's 1182? Okay, well, I guess I may need bifocals one day. 676-416-1182. 678-416-1182. Website is Maine Source, Maine with an E.org, MAINE source.org. And I would like to let you all know that I already want the brother to return. And, we definitely would like to do a part 2. There is something within me that I feel like I really should have certain repeated guests. And I would definitely like for you to be a repeated return guest, because this is a serious opportunity. And one thing that I also think is important to say before you give your closing comments is that, we have intuition. And sometimes you have to turn off the world and tap into your spirit. Be still. Go outside. Get grounded. Take off your shoes. Plant your feet on Mother Earth. Ask the Creator the night before. Wake up and see what the first thought is in the morning, which can be the answer. And recognize that this is a spiritual warfare that we're in. This is not about flesh and blood. This is about principalities and powers. This is a supernatural thing that's going on here. And so just, put your trust in the Creator and the divine and not just a man. Know that these doctors are not the only way, and that cancer does not have to be a death sentence. And that's something that is a real thing when they talk about, we're looking for the cure for cancer. Well, Otto Warburg, he found out, I don't even remember the date, it was like in the 19th century, that cancer cannot exist in an alkaline environment. And so why was this happening like in the I think it was like the late 1800s, maybe like 1848. I'm going to have to go back and check my facts. However, they already know that cancer cannot exist in an alkaline environment. And my last guest that came, Ras Chiwara, he spoke about a woman who was diagnosed with cancer. She went home and all she did was watch comedy and laugh, and she cured herself from laughing. And so this brother is also talking about emotional and mental and spiritual things. It's not just physical. And so you have to get your mind and your spirit right, not just your physical. Because you can eat vegetarian, vegan all day long and still get sick and leave this planet unnecessarily at an early time. Because it's not just foods that are alkaline, it's our thoughts and our emotions, like laughter and joy are alkaline, and it creates an alkaline environment in the body. And so with that being said, my brother, what are your closing comments, thoughts, vibrations that you like to put out into the planet right now?
Okay. Well, I just want to reiterate on what you're saying is 100% true. You're not actually saying something. It's actually been studies and actually a fact on that. Anytime you're angry, so it's not just the food. You can eat all the foods you want, green, vegetarian, but your emotions, you have the higher emotion, you have the lower emotions. Not to say anyone is any better, because your body just needs balance. But if you have an overabundance of something else, then you need to put an overabundance and be uncomfortable and give that other emotions, because you're off balance. You can't just say, okay, now I laugh one time, and then the rest of the 80% of your day, you pissed,
Good
point. And I just want to encourage people that when you're on this healing journey, do not think you're going to be able to heal and be comfortable. That is very, very important. The things that's very important. Do not think you're going to not be able to, because the balance is something opposite than what you're doing. Your body doesn't care about how much money you make. Your body don't care about your house. Your body don't care about none of that. Your societal goals, it does not care. But we're dragging along the body while we keep it in this chaotic vibration and expect it to hold strong. Lettuce can't do it. No vegetables can do it. Only energy. Only energy can do it. Because these vegetables, they don't have any emotion. It's not like you're going eating a wild plant that has a essence of the Creator. You know, it's a hybrid
Very
essence.
good point.
So it's a difference. You know, if you eat that, you feel electricity. It might be different, but you feel electricity. You know, when you eat these hybrid plants, they don't come with the full package. You know, they don't come with all these other things that God put in it. So I just encourage people, just when you're ready to heal, you have to be ready to make change. You're not going to heal comfortably. You know, but that's the beauty of it. Why should you heal comfortably when you've led yourself in this type of situation? I put myself in this situation when I was sick. So why wouldn't it be any other kind of way than to be the opposite of that? You know, sometimes we have a self-entitlement mentality, but we done drug the body through the mud, and then all of a sudden we expect, okay, now just heal with my life, and it doesn't work like that. You know, so don't give yourself a false reality, and don't take the shortcut. Be okay with going down that road of uncomfortability. So that's what I would suggest.
Yes, so I'm grateful for what you're saying, because I encourage people to, you know, check out local farmers, grow your own food. And also, you know, when you grow your own food, then your DNA actually gets into the food. That's something that we don't talk about too. That you can actually, you know, be healing yourself by simply eating the food that you grow from your own hand. Just like we know that when you are eating food from your own kitchen, is better than just eating out. Because you don't want to eat food from somebody that's angry or unclean and stuff like that. So it's important for us to look at different modalities and be willing to return to some of the old ways that actually worked. And we do live in a society where everything is instantaneous gratification. And that's not necessarily the best, because our ancestors were so strong and they didn't have all that extra. So we thank you all for listening to Caribbean Life Radio. We are Caribbean Life TV on Facebook. For my listening audience, Noni, Marlene, Taisha, Joyce, I saw Merle was in the house as well. All those who are listening over the airwaves, we thank you, and we ask you to continue to spread the good news, shine your light brightly into this world. Know that you are the change. Be the change that you wish to see. Know that you are the ones. We are the ones that we have been waiting for. We are our ancestors' prayers answered, our ancestors' wildest dreams fulfilled. We make the choice every day whether to be or not to be. So I encourage you to continue to shine your light brightly. And even when you feel afraid, just do it afraid, because sooner or later you can transform that fear into love. And so we send out love and light, peace and power until the next time. And thank you, Brother Source, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Peace and love.
Ooh, yes. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah. They got so much things to say right now. They got so much things to say. They got so much